We sow into modules pretty much most of our seed, apart from carrots and parsnips in general. We find that growing them in modules gives them a stronger start to go out and helps resist against some of the rodents that may take a liking to some of the seeds. We'll grow them on for about 4 weeks to 6 weeks depending on how they go, and then once they're ready to go into the ground we try and transplant quite small. I don't want to transplant massively long plants, so when we put them into the ground we'll put a fleece over the top as well. Now this will keep it a little bit warmer, plus it will keep all the wind damage off, so if we get any strong winds this will actually help protect against them as well. So in this tray I'm going to do a mixture of beetroots. I'm a big beetroot lover and I've got a few different ones. I find the cylindrical really good for cooking with because it's long. It's so much easier to slice. The good thing about beetroots, they can go into the freezer uncooked, cooked, or store for a while. Now I love to multi-sow these. So these are cross bees Egyptian, and these were actually not too bad last year. Weren't the biggest ones I had, and I'm actually going to plant 4 in each one of these. It's one of those vegetables that actually grows really well in a multi-sow. As they grow and I want to crop, I'll take the biggest ones away, so the smaller ones have a little bit more space to grow, and you just keep harvesting. Oh, I'm just throwing them in there. I'm also going to do the Moulin Rouge. Now these ones were quite tasty as well. Now I'm not that bothered about getting these kind of mixed up. It's something I actually really quite enjoy with the beetroots. I use them in so many different ways. I'll do some Detroits as well in this one. We will have 2 trays of beetroots, and it's something that I'll actually keep growing throughout the whole of the year. Saves so much space, multi-sowing, and your compost as well. Now I have got several other varieties. This year I want to make more beetroot soups. Roasted beetroot meals and other little things that I can think of. Make the most out of my beetroot harvest. Now again, I don't worry about it being over the edge of the modules, because by the time it's had a good water over the space of a couple of weeks, it all settles down. So finicky with this kind of stuff. Now it just goes in how is. Now this last tray is just going to be for my cylindrical beetroots. I really enjoy cooking with these. You get more out of it as well. I'm aiming for 3 or 4 in these. Now I don't normally sow this amount all in one go, but because they store so easy, more every couple of weeks, so at least I've got some fresh. Another thing I'm going to plant is some lettuces in a seed tray. This one's got great holes in, great bit of drainage. Again, it's another one that I'll grow to actually prick out. And we're going to try the iceberg lettuce. There was a lot of lettuces I grew last year that I was really not keen on. Now I understand having a bit of a bitter lettuce in your salad is kind of nice, but I was not fond of a lot of them. Now it looks like I have planted a lot of icebergs, but to be honest I don't know whether this seed's any good anymore, so we'll give it a go. I've also got some reduced lamb's lettuce, so we're going to give this one a go. Now this is out of date from last year. You want to try and keep your hands dry when you're dealing with seed packets. Again, lamb's lettuce is something that I can pop in a variety of different places, and I'm just very sparingly covering the top layer. Lettuces don't like to be buried. You can use vermiculite as well for this, but I find I don't really have to spend any more just by doing it how I'm doing it. But it does work. They like free draining, so just make sure that you've got plenty of holes in the bottom of whatever tray you're using. Okay, now once these have germinated, they'll go into the polytunnel. So I've come outside because it's just so windy today, and my seed packets are wanting to self-seed all around the allotment. So I've come indoors. I'm going to sow some coriander. Now with my coriander, I like to try and get it in. Last year I didn't get any germination whatsoever from it. This could be a whole range of things. It could have been the seeds, could have been the time of year, but I did try to plant it multiple times last year, so I did get some fresh seed. Coriander obviously doesn't keep very well fresh. You can freeze it into small portions and use it that way. I like to make lots of coriander meals for the freezer, so there is some stuff that we will grow that I can make up a load of meals for the freezer throughout the year, instead of actually just freezing or preparing certain foods on their own. Now coriander, I love coriander rice with curries and a whole manner of other things that we use it in. So what I will do is I'm going to sow quite a lot of seed, so we get quite a lot of coriander, and this is something that I will continuously sow for the next few weeks, so I have plenty of fresh coriander to use. Coriander is very expensive in the supermarkets for the amounts that you get, so I'm hoping this year, fingers crossed, it's actually going to germinate. So I'm going to sow these seeds into modules. So I'm going to grow 3 or 4 in these again. Not being overly careful. And then just a dusting of compost. Now I'm looking forward to the coriander. Something I can never buy enough from the supermarket. I like my fresh herbs, my fresh parsley and things, and what you can get at the supermarket and how long it lasts in your fridge. It's never enough. So that's all I'm pretty much going to sow today. I've done quite a bit of sowing over the last 3 days. Don't want to go too far, having space in the house. Now they will literally be going into crates which I will stack up on the kitchen table until they're germinated, and then I'll bring them down into the greenhouses. Everything I've sowed today is frost hardy, so they'll cope absolutely fine in the greenhouses or the polytunnels.